Hey guys, what's up? So this week I've been on a road trip with my family, which was absolutely amazing. I had a blast. Unfortunately, it didn't leave me a whole lot of time to make a video, and I very nearly just scrapped it and took a week off, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I wanted to make something and get something out there and not get out of the routine. So this week, I'm doing two things. First, I want to go through some of the comments from the last video. Some of those comments are awesome, they're really good advice, and I think it's worth talking about them. The second thing I want to do this week is, I don't want to say too much right now because I don't know, I think it's a pretty cool surprise. I got a surprise to show you. I'm super stoked about it. I'm really excited about it. So once we've gone through the comments, I'll show you. Before we get into the comments from last week, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that's supporting the channel by watching, by liking videos, by commenting and continuing the discussion. That's pretty much exactly what I'd hoped for. And if it gets to the point where the discussion that is created around videos, either on the videos themselves, in forums, on Facebook or Reddit, if that becomes more valuable than the video itself, that'll be a really cool thing. So thank you guys, I really appreciate it. So let's have a look at some of the comments from the hydrometer video last week, because honestly, some of them are so obvious that I feel like a muppet for missing, and I should have just included them. Others are a little bit more thoughtful, and I really appreciate people putting the time into mentioning those things in the comments down below. So first of all, that was the first video that I put out with Amazon links in it, and to be honest, there's gonna be more. I'm totally committed to creating free content. I think that's really important, but it takes a lot of time to get this stuff out on a weekly basis. So at some point I'm gonna have to find a way to make that time sustainable. And Amazon links are one of those ways that I can do it. I know that especially for New Zealanders and Australians that there's a bit of frustration around Amazon, like voiced here. I get it. I still use Amazon as kind of my go-to price check and are we getting screwed because we live on an island at the bottom of the world check. I am working on other options for people down under. I guess AliExpress is one option. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Maybe let me know how you guys feel about AliExpress. In any case, after bringing up the Amazon issue, Anthony also went on to say that the little stoppers at the end of the hydrometer tubes are not to be trusted. And I'm guessing that maybe he lost a hydrometer due to exactly that. I've broken 2 hydrometers in my brewing career. One of them was just me being an idiot and I straight up dropped it. The second was for exactly the same reason. So I guess you're not the only one, dude, and that's why I use one of these containers now. I also asked you guys if you wanted to see some content on refractometers, perhaps how they work and hydrometers versus refractometers. Looks like you guys are keen. I gotta tell you, I love my refractometer, so I'll be totally happy to make a video about those. Big Ed's guns. Are we talking about guns or guns? I don't know. Big Ed's guns chipped in and said this. Honestly, dude, I hadn't thought of that, and I am paranoid about it. I always lower the hydrometer in and almost push it down lower than it's going to float at. This is a great idea, dude. I think I'm going to start using this and I'm not going to have to stress again, especially if I start using a parrot. Ray also had some pretty good tips. I totally neglected to mention calibration, which is an awesome idea, dude. I should have included that, and you are totally right. Just because it's not reading the correct reading doesn't mean that it's worth throwing out. And you know what? Maybe I'll try and find a hydrometer that's out and we'll do a video on that. It's an awesome idea. Inglis Hill also said that I got a little bit confused, or my message was a little bit confused at the least, when talking about alcometers versus hydrometers. And I totally get what you're saying, dude. I guess I would argue that they're really the same thing with a different measure put on the side. But I totally agree that the way I was talking about it could really confuse people that are new to the hobby. And I think because of that, I want to address it now and agree with you that that was probably not a great idea on my part. And second, I think that it would be really cool to do a video that talks about proof, or the alcometers, alcohol percent or potential, specific gravity, and bricks and compare those 4 scales that you see on these things and talk about which are useful, which are maybe not so useful, and why to use one versus the other. So those are the comments that I wanted to bring up and talk about from last week. I know you guys have been making awesome comments on all the videos that I've been putting out, but I thought that video was special and I should make a video about it because those comments specifically could really help someone else, as opposed to just being advice for my personal situation. Okay guys, so I think it's time to talk to you about that surprise that I teased at the beginning of the video. And yeah, I'm excited about it. This is cool, man. A little while ago, one of the guys that has given me a whole lot of advice from the beginning, supported the concept and the idea of the channel, helped me out with builds and problems I've been having. Just generally a guy that's genuinely seemed to want to help and put some time and effort into a new guy like me. Started offering that if I could find a keg and get it sent up to him, he'd doodad it for me, get it kitted out, and send it back down so I could use it as a boiler. Honestly, sometimes I'm bad at taking people up on offers like that. I don't know why, I just am, which is funny because as you all know, I'm totally cool with asking you to donate your time and help me out with concepts and ideas and feedback. But when it comes to physically doing something or actual products, I get a bit weird about it. And I kind of just put it on the back burner, and honestly, I forgot about it for a little while. So this guy happens to run a new distillery in Hamilton. These guys right here. And somewhere along the line, it turned from send a keg up to him to, hey, he's got a keg ready for me. It kind of blew my mind, man. Like, I've never met this guy. I've talked to him a fair bit on forums. But he totally hooked me up. And seeing as I was up in Auckland already for the wedding, I swung past and met him finally. It was awesome to meet you, dude. And thank you so much. You guys got to check this out because I'm pretty pumped with it. So, enough talking. Let's show you some eye candy, eh? One of the first things I noticed about it was the fact that he's trimmed the front of the rim of the keg off to allow easy access, which is super smart, but he's left the handles intact, which makes a whole lot of sense and obviously is smart. Probably something that I would not have thought about doing. I guess I was kind of hoping that this thing would have an access port on top. He's totally hooked me up, and he even hooked me up with the hardware, the blank and the triclover as well. This is going to make operation a whole lot easier in terms of cleaning and being able to get access inside, but also being able to fill the keg without having to detach the column and all of that sort of thing. Moving down to the front of the keg, he's put a little port in for a temperature gauge, or if I go Arduino, which I really think I want to do, I could probably put a thermocouple in there. As you can see, there's also stands on the keg, so it sits up off the ground, it's nice and stable, and it allows clearance for the drain that he's installed, which I am super pumped about. I talked about this with a few of the guys on a couple of the forums, and a lot of them said it's not necessary, but you're gonna be really, really thankful for it when you're trying to empty that thing quickly when it's full of really hot liquid. So after seeing all of this, I was already absolutely pumped. And then I noticed the elements as well. Yeah, there are 2 3K elements installed in this thing already. I'm speechless, dude. Like, you've totally hooked me up. Thank you so much. So once again, my mind's blown, and I'm really humbled and really thankful for the amount of work and effort that Andrew's put into this. While I was there, I also got the chance to have a look around the distillery, even had the chance to sample a couple of the new products that he's working on. I'm pretty pumped. The stuff that I got to taste was really, really good, and I'm super stoked that there is another place in New Zealand doing this. One of the reasons that I'm fast falling in love with this hobby is that I get to meet people like this. And when I do, and when I see them doing such cool things, regardless of the fact that they're helping me out as well, I want to help them. I want to see them be successful. I can't wait for his bottles to hit the shelves in force. And when they do, trust me, I am going to mention it, guys. So now that I have this absolutely kick-ass boiler, I really need to get my ass into gear and get everything else sorted so I can get up and running and create some cool content for you guys and create some cool product for myself. There's a couple of things that I need to do to make that happen. First, I need to make some sort of still to go on top. I'm going to talk about that next week. I don't want to get into it too much right now. Second, I need to make a controller to drive this thing. And third, now that I've got a 50-litre boiler, I'm thinking that my 25-litre fermenter's not going to cut it, so I need to work out something for that as well. So watch this space, guys. I'm going to be solving those problems coming up soon. Thanks a bunch for watching. Sorry I didn't have something better for you this week, but I'll see you next time. See ya.